Hey, I'm Tanner Kalina, and I'm excited to be diving into this Lent with you. Have you ever wondered if you know God? It's a basic question, but maybe the most important question that we can ask ourselves. Do I know God? Not just about Him, but actually. Do I know that I know God? Am I confident in that? Is that even possible? Today, my brothers and sisters, I want to encourage you that yes, it's absolutely possible. In fact, that's what we're made for. We're made to know and be known by God. We're made to know, love, and serve God in this life so we can be happy with Him forever in the next. So this is a crucial question to ask ourselves. Do we know God? And just as a reminder, we believe in a God who is all good, all powerful, all trustworthy, all kind, without flaw, without a trace of evil, without injustice, without selfishness. How could we not want to draw close to that God? And so today, I really want to encourage you to spend some time asking yourself, do I know God? And in order to grow confident in our response to that question, there are a few things that we can do. First thing is we need to recognize that God is not distant. He wants to make Himself known to us. In fact, He's making Himself available to us at all times in every circumstance. He wants us to know Him because He already knows us in and out. So that's first thing. Second thing is we can examine the fruit in our lives. In today's gospel reading, Jesus talks about fruit, and He uses the image of a fig tree and someone who planted a fig tree and came back looking for the fruit on this tree. And when he found none, he wanted to cut this tree down. But a gardener stood in the way and was like, wait. Before you cut this tree down, let me cultivate and fertilize the soil around it so that when you come back in the future, it will be able to bear fruit. That's my quick paraphrasing of that. But essentially, a good tree should bear fruit. Elsewhere in the Gospels, Jesus says you will know a tree by its fruit. Good trees should bear good fruit, and bad trees bear bad fruit. So if we know God, we should have godly fruit in our lives. And so today I want to ask you to spend some time examining the fruit in your life. Are you growing in patience with your family members, or are you growing in anger toward them? Are you growing in self-control and the ability to say no when you should say no? Or are you growing in selfishness when you have the freedom to be selfish? Are you striving to have purity in all of your relationships? How do you talk about people when they're out of sight? What is the fruit being born in your life? We have to keep an eye on the fruit on our lives and notice if it's growing or if it's withering. If it's growing, then we can grow confident that we're growing closer to God. And if it's withering, then we need to take a step back, buckle down, and prioritize prayer. But this Lent so far, we've talked about almsgiving, fasting, and prayer. And just as a tree needs its soil around it to be fertilized in order to grow healthy, we need to fertilize our lives with prayer in order to become the men and women that we're created to be. Prayer is where we share with God. Prayer is where we hear from God. Prayer is where we grow with God. So if we're not spending time in prayer, then we're not making ourselves available to God, who is already making Himself available to us. And chances are, if we're not sitting still long enough to pray, then we're not sitting still long enough to really examine the fruit in our lives. It's a scary thought, but so many people out there will never give prayer a real chance in their life. They'll never sit still long enough to hear God tell them that He loves them. They'll get caught in the frenzy of life until their very last breath. We have to actively work against this, and that fight is our prayer. I know it can be hard, but as long as we just continue showing up, God will make Himself known. And as a reminder, we are made to know and be known by God. So in order to make ourselves more available today to Him, who is all good, all trustworthy, and already making Himself available to us, let us recognize His closeness and proximity just a little bit more. Let us spend some time today examining the fruit in our lives and being honest about that fruit in our lives. And let us spend some time today in prayer. And let us think about our weeks and each day how we can carve out some time to spend time in prayer with Him. It's of the utmost importance, my brothers and sisters. It's how we know God. We're now almost halfway through Lent, y'all. So let's keep buckling in. Let's keep bearing good fruit. And God bless.